Welcome to our 15th annual History Symposium of the GLO. And I am here to represent Commissioner Don Buckingham, who is unable to be here but wants to welcome you and everybody with the GLO. And our chief clerk, Jennifer Jones, will speak right before lunch, so I'm sure it'll be very brief. Next slide. Do I have a clicker? I have a clicker. Holy cow! I don't know how to work it, though. All right. But who's clicking it? Whoever you're clicking it, stop it. I want to click it. Is it on? Okay. That's who I am. So 3/4 of my duties, well, I used to run the archives, and then I got promoted, which usually turns out horribly. But 75% of the time, I worked with the Alamo and helped them with their master plan. And I have a slide about the Alamo we'll talk about later. And 25% of the time, I work with the GLO archives and records because I miss them so much. But I just wanted to give you a brief update on what's happened at the archives. One of the reasons we started this 15 years ago, James and I and another person who's no longer with us, no, he's at another job, was we wanted to get the GLO better well known. I took this job and I was like, wow, this is a really unknown place. What do they have here? I took this job and we wanted to get the GLO better known. All the duties that the GLO does across the state, get the GLO archives better well known. And for me, who had been an archivist for 15 years by then, was pull back the opaque curtain that was over archives and make them more understandable for people who probably don't go in and research all the time. But of course, we have people that walk in every day who are, lifetime genealogists and know more about our records than we do, but they don't know how an archive works. So we do a lot of tours. If you haven't gotten a tour in the last week, get somebody's card and we will do a tour for you the next time you're in town. That was one of our goals, to make archives less opaque for people and how this whole history process works, or the historical enterprise, some people will say. But in the past year, we released Commissioner Buckingham's Alamo Defender map. James talked a little about it yesterday, but is that it? That's it right there. I just wanted to say a couple of things about it because it's mostly my research, the new research. But for those of you who are Alamo heads, and there's probably at least one or two in this crowd, modern scholarship, puts about 182 to up to 260 people who were at the Alamo. Of course, they all died, and the only way we know who was there was from the couriers that left, from the survivors, the women and children, and some muster rolls that survive of earlier part of the siege. And this list has 189 defenders. If you're my age, you probably remembered it was 182, then it went to 183, and people keep finding more sources in the archives, and it's at 189 now. But we honestly will say we're not sure. It could go up to about 257, 260 people. Mexican sources think a second relief column came in after the Immortal 32 at Goliad. 3 good Mexican sources say, I think 250, 253, and 257 bodies were burned. So we will never know the full story of the Alamo, but this map, and there's a digital version of it. If you can't see where the pins are on the map, there's a digital version online where you look at this paper map. There's 189, but the thing I'm most proud of is it has the most complete list of survivors and non-combatants ever. Now, if you've been doing history as long as I have, you heard, well, a couple people survived the Alamo battle. Well, it's not a couple. It was 22 people, the best we can tell. This list holds 29 because a couple sons of one of the defenders who was actually in the sacristy and was bayoneted to death in front of Enrique Esparza, and he told that in one of his first-person accounts. And Andrew Torget, if you're familiar with Andrew Torget, Dr. Andrew Torget, who's done a lot of research on cotton and early slavery in Texas, researched what we think is the best list of African Americans who were at the battle, and 5 probably survived. and are listed as non-combatants. And we know Joe, of course, is listed as one of the defenders on the Alamo list. So we now think there was 6 African Americans there. We think this is the most complete list ever, and we're proud of it. So you don't have to buy a map to have it. You can look at the digital project, and there's only one unknown defender as of right now. Enrique Esparza, when he was in the sacristy, noted that a young American boy was bayoneted or shot right in front of him at the end of the battle, and that's how we describe him, young American boy. And unless, that's why history is never ending, because unless somebody finds a source in Mexico or buried in the United States right now, we might never know this person's name, but everybody else we think who was there, who was in the sacristy, and survivors we have on this map now. So it's proud of that research. If you haven't been on a tour in the last couple of months, we have a surveying collection donation that is really great to see how they surveyed Texas in the 19th century. Well, I did a little surveying or something like that when I was in the military, and it's just amazing how you do your pace count, or you do linear distances with tripods. It's some neat stuff to see the next time you're on a tour. Hopefully you'll see that. We're finishing up the acquisition of the Frank and Carol Holcomb map collection, which is one of the best map collections in the state. And it's not in our map book because we didn't own it at the time we did our map book. And so we might have a map book 2 in this, because these maps are so amazing that cover Texas and, of course, American history. So look forward to seeing those maps in the future. Where am I pointing? Okay. And real quickly, I'm really proud of the GIS work that our educational department is doing, led by Lila, who was our master of ceremonies yesterday. But we've won some awards in the last year. If you're familiar with Story Maps, which is GIS maps in a particular software program, we won one for the mission lands into private hands. Texas oil boom map was featured at the East Texas Oil Museum, and we just won an award this week from the Texas GIS Forum on one of our educational maps, which is a static map which we pull a lot of data into to show all the ghost counties that have existed in Texas. And couldn't even tell you how many there are, 20, 30, something like that you probably know 1 or 2 off the top of your head, but it's a good compilation of things that we have in our archives that we're turning into, secondary products that you can now access on our website for free. A lot more lesson plans since our educational department has gotten larger now. We do teacher workshops all over the state now. Our Save Texas History contest is going better than ever. And we have a new newsletter that comes out twice a month. We don't spam you all the year, but you can keep up with what's going on with us. And now quickly, Alamo news. If you have not been to the Alamo in the last couple of years, you are missing a lot. It looks like a bomb went off there right now because there's so much construction going on, but it is still accessible. In a couple of years, it'll be amazing. Already the Ralston building opened, the collections building on the east side of the grounds. The Mission Gate and Lunette exhibit opened last year, and it's right in Alamo Plaza, or if you're really familiar with Alamo history, it was the dividing line between Alamo Plaza and Plaza de Valero, which was a section of the plaza that's in front of the Menger Hotel. The Alamo cenotaph did not move. It was preserved in place, and it will be reopened for the public next Tuesday on Veterans Day. There'll be an opening ceremony, and it's been cleaned. There was a lot of maintenance that needed to be done on the inside. There was stones cracked due to weathering, rusting, all kinds of stuff. It will be look almost brand new for you if you're down there on Tuesday when it's premiered. If you're familiar with Houston Street, which is the southern edge of the Alamo complex, there is now a statue trail that basically runs from the Briscoe Museum, which is the Western History Museum in San Antonio. There's a statue trail that runs right up to the Alamo now with statues of important people such as John W. Smith, which is one of the couriers, Emily West, which some people know as Emily Morgan, Sam Houston, Stephen F. Austin, of course, James Bowie, William Barrett Travis, trying to think some others. There's 15. I can't think of them all off the top of my head. But that is a beautiful new entrance from the south to the Alamo now. Of course, the street was closed off. I used to be down there, and there'd be kids running across the street, and here comes a bus looking like they're about to plow over a bunch of school kids. The street was finally closed off. You can go from the east side to the west side of the Alamo complex without worrying about being run over by a car now. Future things to open are the Texas Cavalier Education Center next year. That is the former Alamo Hall and the former DRT Library. Next year, the Lower Paseo, which was the connection to the Riverwalk that was put in 1976. So you can basically walk from the Alamo and go straight under the Hyatt Hotel west and go to the Riverwalk. That's been totally redone to a more traditional style of architecture, not something brand new, which it looked like in 1976. The church in Lambert, we're spending a lot of money to preserve both of those. The roof will be removed and a new roof put on. The roof that is on there now, you've probably heard, has been leaking at least since 2010 or so. We keep patching it, and we finally decided that we need to replace it. The rebar was rusted. If anybody's an engineer here, as soon as you get a crack in the cement, the water gets in and gets to the rebar that basically is the strengthening of the cement over the roof. And while we keep testing it every year, there's no risk it'll come down. It's weakened. It's past its useful life. And so that roof will be replaced starting next year. What that will entail is putting a metal building up around the Alamo with a boom crane over it to pick that roof off in pieces, move it, put it down, and they'll put framing up to put a new roof in. The roof that we're taking off, of course, went on in 1920. It's only survived 100 years. We're hoping the next one will survive 200 or 300 years. And the church in Lambert themselves, if you've ever paid attention to the stone, the limestone, and this is a layman's description, but we pretty much know where the stone came from. The Alamo was quarries north of the Alamo, near where the zoo is now in San Antonio. But depending on where you got that stone, it can be a bright white, it can be a more yellow limestone. If it looks really orange, it probably had iron pyrite in it, which then turns rusty and then causes the stone look orange. And that iron in there actually weakens that stone. So in the next couple of years, we'll be identifying the worst stones, pulling them out, and it's called a Dutchman repair. You pull a stone out and put a new stone in there that is in better condition. So you'll see stuff like that if you go down there next couple of years. Alamo Plaza will be finished after the church in Longberry are conserved because they have to get heavy equipment in there to do all this work. The Visitor Center Museum, which is on the west wall, the Crockett Block, is going to be a 5-story museum. It'll be amazing. And the last thing will be the old Alamo gift shop will become an event center. If you're familiar with public history, like we show maps here and we show ornaments, you have to have steady income or, you start laying off people after a while. So we're hoping the new museum, there's a restaurant on top, the gift shop will be improved, that we can generate that income that's steady over the years. So the Alamo never goes down again, kind of like it did, by the 70s or so. James shilled the map book really well last night, so I won't go into that. That's why we're here today. Pick up one of our maps or look at the digital project online. Ornament, nobody shilled the ornament yet. Ladies, you might even want to get 2. Just saying. And I won't hit this whole list, but I want to, again, thank our sponsors and our exhibitors, everybody who's sitting here, the Bullock Museum, TSHA, our gold level sponsors. Wow, there's a lot. And these are mostly exhibitors, but other people that support us. And thank you to all of them. Assembly Foundation gives us a grant just about every year. We're lucky to work with them, and the Texas Historical Foundation as well. David, you're in here. Thank you for y'all's help. And now the land commissioner, who could not be here today, does have a welcome for y'all. And then we'll kick this thing off with our first speaker.
Hey, Texas. I'm Dr. Dawn Buckingham, your Texas Land Commissioner. Welcome to the Save Texas History Symposium. The General Land Office houses a vast archive of land grant documents and thousands of maps which hold rich Texas history. As commissioner, I understand the importance of protecting our precious collections so that future generations can learn and connect through their Texas heritage. I want to thank all those in attendance today, including sponsors and speakers. The Save Texas History Symposium began in 2010 and serves to remind Texans about the importance of protecting and preserving our history. This year's theme is Texas Takes Shape, Cartography and History in the Lone Star State. The name's a play on our archive department's wonderful one-of-a-kind map book, which contains a foreword that I wrote about my own Texas heritage. Since the 1950s, each land commissioner has taken part in a tradition of commissioning a map that is important to their administration. My map displays the heritage of each of the Alamo defenders and the land grants their families received in honor of their sacrifices. You can find the Alamo Defenders Heritage Map of Texas online at historictexasmaps.com. A new Christmas ornament inspired by the map's compass rose is also now available on the site. The General Land Office has accomplished so much this year and gained lots of ground in saving Texas history. I hope you enjoy this amazing event and leave inspired to carry forth in our mission to save Texas history. You can continue supporting our work with a donation or purchase at historictexasmaps.com. Until next time, I'm Dr. Dawn Buckingham, your Texas Land Commissioner. May God bless you, and may God continue to bless the great state of Texas.